Hello everybody, Rokimakushin here, and welcome to a brand new draft. In this time, we're going to be taking part in Spear Pillar Draft Association. It's going to be my first time taking part in this, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing Scarlet and Violet High Tier Terra. So there was a good amount of options on the board that I liked, ones that kind of fit. But I mostly just wanted to look at some comfortable picks for this draft. And although I was one of the lower picks, I ended up getting something pretty good. So I've got my team already in the game, so we're just going to be going through it like that. So my first pick was Iron Valiant. Now I've used Iron Valiant a lot, and I still absolutely love Iron Valiant. It is still one of my favorite Pokemon. It is incredibly fun to use. Able to really do a lot of different things. So, first pick Iron Valiant. Already put my team. I feel like pretty good. Next pick that I ended up going with was Weavile. I really do like Weavile. I've always wanted to use it. Never really had the chance, but Dark Ice, very offensive. So already, my team is already looking very offensive, and it's kind of something that I've been trying to want to do more of. Is play more of what I like. My last time using Hyper Offense did not end up going that well. This team is actually more balance over Hyper Offense, but I really do like what I ended up coming up with. Weavile, very good though, can come in at the end and just really run through a team. Knockoff support is always really helpful. Priority with Ice Shard, low kick as well. I don't have the move set up right now on this Weavile, but you know. Next up though, we got my first Terra Captain, Ogerpon. Ogerpon, I was looking at some of the Terra options, and I thought that Terra Ogerpon Grass was incredibly powerful. Even though it is open Terra with Terra Preview, so any Pokemon that has the Terra cost associated with it, but they can Terra into any type, I still thought that Ogerpon would probably be one of the better ones, because with Terra Grass Ogerpon, you always have that +1 speed, while still being able to have access to your item slot. It is super, super strong. Can have boots, can support with spikes, but Terra Ivy Cudgel, doing so much damage. Momentum with U-turn, knockoff, Swords Dance setups, support with spikes, so I play a slower game with that. Overall, I really do like Ogerpon. It is a very fun Pokemon to use with Terra. Now, I had 3 offensive picks already. I wanted to go with something a little bit more defensive, and a little bit more supporty, while still being able to be offensive. Although I did want something just, straight offensive. I was hoping to get Latios, but I got Latias. Latias, of course, one of my favorite Pokemon, and I think is also just an incredible Pokemon in and of itself. So I really do like Latias, being able to have just good damage with the Soul Dew, just increasing the Dragon and Psychic power, having access to some pretty useful support moves like Wish. Actually, it's really just Wish, although I do think I still get Tailwind, but I'll probably not use Tailwind in singles. Oh, Healing Wish. That's the one I was thinking of, was Wish, Healing Wish. Still has good recovery with Recover. But overall, I really do like Latios. It is a fantastic Pokemon. I did want Latios, though, for more of the power. Also, Latios gets Trick, so I could also, trick something as well. So, there's that as well. A lot of different ways that I could play Latios, and I'm happy to be able to use Latios, since I haven't really done much of Latios. Since I haven't really used much of Latios as of late. But I really don't like with Scarlet and Violet with how problematic a lot of their hazard setters are, so I really needed some hazards removal. So I really needed the hazard removal on this next pick, and so my next pick I ended up going with was Excadrill. Probably one of the better rapid spinners on the board that was still available. And overall, like, you know, Excadrill can either be like a supportive rapid spin stealth rocker or an offensive swords dancer. Overall, like, you know, Excadrill, fantastic Pokemon, and happy to have it along on this. But I still wanted a little bit more momentum, and I also wanted like something more defensive as well that was just innately defensive, and so my next pick was Vaporeon. Flip turn, Wish, kind of like a slower playstyle, although still being able to deal out some pretty nice damage with that 110 special attack. You can't really scoff at that. So I could run like an more offensive Vaporeon 1 week instead of like a defensive one. I have my defensive duties relegated more to Latios or something like that. Overall, though, I do like Vaporeon, but it's really just going to be Vaporeon and Latios really playing the defensive roles this game, or this draft, so they're really going to have to be putting in a lot of work. Thankfully, they don't share any weaknesses, and they kind of blend together really well. So I think they're going to end up doing pretty well together as my main wall core. Next up, though, was my next Terra Captain option, and one that I thought, I don't know how much I'm going to bring it, or really Terra it, alongside Ogerpon. I think Ogerpon is just way too strong, but I ended up going with Terra Toxtricity. I do like Toxtricity a lot. With an open Terra, it can really end up doing a bunch of different things. You can go physical, special, although, like, you know, Toxtricity doesn't have the best physical attack, but it does have shift gear, so it can really make use of that a lot as well. So even though, like, with Toxtricity, Toxtricity is not in Champions, so let me change that to this. Toxtricity, like 98 physical attack, 98 attack is actually not that bad. It's just kind of on the slower side with the 75 speed, but with shift gear, that kind of ends up fixing it a lot. So being able to shift gear up, and you still won't be able to tell like if I'm like physical or special. Having some pretty okay abilities with Punk Rock. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to really make use of Technician. Doesn't really get anything that can make use of Technician. Let's see here. Technician, Trailblaze, Charge Beam, Thief, Snarl, Poison Tail, I guess. Nothing really saying good, so yeah, no, Technician's kind of a useless ability on it, unfortunately. I guess, like, Technician Thief deals more than Throat Chop if I'm going the physical route, but if I'm going special route, I want Punk Rock, Overdrive, also with the open Terra as well with Toxtricity. One of Toxtricity's best moves is Boom Burst. I can now, you know, run Terra Normal Boom Burst, so I can get the stab on it and it can do even more damage. So, you know, that's pretty good. As it came down, though, I was looking at like my last couple picks that I wanted to pick up, and I saw that this Pokemon was still available. I was debating on if I wanted Terra Toxtricity or to be able to Terra this Pokemon. I decided on Toxtricity. Not sure if that's gonna be good or not, but my next Pokemon that I wanted to pick up was Kleavor. Stone Axe, U-Turn is fantastic moves. Choice Scarf sets on Kleavor is really good. Overall, I think Kleavor is going to end up doing pretty well. And just, like, you know, having access to Stone Axe is going to be very nice. I can have, like, emergency defog if I really want to do that, but having Defog and Stone Axe on the same set is not something that I really want to end up looking into. So it's really just going to be Excadrill and my next pick. That's really going to be my main form of hazard removal. But it's really just going to be relying a lot on Excadrill. But I still do like Cleavor. I do think that it's going to end up doing a lot of good for me, so we'll just see how it ends up going for me. If I can actually hit those stone axes. Second to last pick, though, I ended up picking up Alolan Sandslash. Now, as the person who runs the draft and did a power ranking said, he doesn't really see the reason for Alolan Sandslash on this team. At the same time, I do kind of agree. But Sandslash can kind of be like a backup spinner from Excadrill. But I probably won't be running that for Sandslash all that much. What I'll probably be running Sandslash for is Swords Dance Ice Shard. Because I recently learned that Alolan Sandslash does get access to Ice Shard. So with some pretty good stats, Swords Dance Ice Shard can kind of rip through a team if kind of unexpected. After lowering down my opponent's team throughout the game. So I do think that Sandslash Alolan is going to maybe do better than expected, but I don't think that it's going to be the shining star of the team, or the hidden gem. Who I do think might end up being the hidden gem of the team. I'm just obsessed with Quiver Dances right now, so I picked up Oricorio Ballet? Whatever. The fire one. This one right here. I love Quiver Dancers. Oricorio is super fun to use. I've used Oricorio a lot, just casually. Revelation Dance is a very, very fun move. Unfortunately, I don't have the Terra on Oricorio. That would have been way too expensive, but even then, just having Terra, or just having the Fire Revelation Dance alongside Flying Stab, Quiver Dance, or Scarf sets with U-Turn and Defog, I think Oricorio Ballet will end up doing pretty okay. But that's my draft for this team, or that's my team for this draft. I've been working pretty well on getting everything set up for this. I do have other Sandslashes as well. I'm not going to be running Snowcloak because that's banned. I have to ability patch this into Slush Rush, as well as ability patch Sheer Force into Sharpness and do all that. I'm still getting everything set up, but I have a lot of stuff already set up for this, so I hope that you all enjoy this. There's a lot of content coming into the future, so look forward to a lot of content. Subscribe so subscribe so that you don't miss any content coming up, and I hope that you all have yourselves a fantastic day.